Welcome back to Signal Iduna Park. Borussia Dortmund leading Bayern Munich by a 0-0 in the 2013 Super Cup final. And it's all after a mistake from the reserve goalkeeper Tom Stark. It was in because Manuel Neuer picked up a slight injury against Barcelona. And this isn't his finest moment, Jim Beglin. First of all, the failure to deal with the ball there from the throw, and then a handling error which compounded the misery and gave Dortmund the only goal we've seen so far.
Yeah, well, listen, I admire him for trying to help out Alaba because, you know, he makes himself available for the thrower, trying to give him a chance to get the ball downfield, and he just miskicks it. He just gets it wrong. If you're going to do that, then you have to make sure you get some distance on it. Handed it back to Dortmund, they work it, and then he compounds his first error with the second, and that's the difference between the sides.
Schweini out, possibly with a chance to come on at half-time. I wonder whether Jurgen Klopp will be making any changes, because we saw Aubameyang warming up with a great degree of vigour during the half-time interval. Aubameyang, the signing from St Etienne for 13 million euros. He had an excellent season last year, as you'll remember. Devotees of our European football coverage, 21 goals he scored for St Etienne. Aubameyang, I think, will be introduced at some stage. It's a more familiar face that we're going to see first, though, by the look of it. Sebastian Kehl, player being readied, and his arrival seemingly is imminent. Likes of Rafinha, Dante, amongst those on the Bayern bench. Good strength in depth, despite the fact that they've let a few go over the summer. No Timashuk these days, of course, and Peterson's gone to Bremen and Gomez to Fiorentina. Certainly more strength in depth than Dortmund have, without a shadow of a doubt. But Sebastian Kehl will be on. Sven Bender, the player he's replaced, and a straight swap in the midfield at half-time.
We've got to remember as well, as much as both sides want to win a trophy, start their season and get some momentum going, it still is pre-season, and managers are still tweaking things, and you know, a lot depends on the fitness, the conditioning of the players at this stage, so they're managing all that as well.
Season begins in earnest in 2 weeks' time with the first round of league games. Dortmund go to Augsburg, Bayern at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach, who they've already put 5 past in pre-season. Between now and then, a round of cup games with Dortmund travelling to Wilhelmshaven on Saturday. Bayern will take on Sverreden on Monday week. 1-0 to Borussia Dortmund after a goal early in the piece. First meeting of many, probably, between the two sides this season. Dortmund didn't win any of the matches between the two last year. Are they going to strike lucky in Guardiola's first game in charge? At the first time of asking, get that bit of silverware. I was going to say elusive silverware. Elusive by the standards that they set themselves recently. 16 months since they've won something. 2011-2012 season, they finished first, and Bayern second in League and Cup. Bayern, of course, second in the Champions League final as well. 12 months on, Bayern's improvement enough to see them finish first in everything. And the only way is down from there. I don't think Guardiola will be unduly perturbed by what he's seen in the first 45 minutes, whilst acknowledging that there is room for improvement both today and over the course of the season. Blaszczykowski with a contact on Robben.
Yeah, but I think the Pole's face said it all, didn't it? As if to say he's making a meal of it. He does catch him. He just tries to stick his leg up a bit early, and then we got the kind of the aftermath, the drama. I think if Dortmund are going to pull this off, Jim, they're probably going to need a second goal, because I think if Bayern keep going about their business as they did towards the latter half of that first half.
Shaqiri with the ball in.
I fancy them that they'll create enough of a chance, or chances certainly, to register at least one, if not more. Because for me, they're working the ball better. They just need the incision up front.
Thiago Alcantara. Arm in towards Shaqiri, dealt with by Schmelzer. Well held up by Lewandowski, another fantastic illustration of just how good he is with his back to the direction of play. Not really gambling that the ball was going to get there in that deep position at the far post.
Yeah, I mean, this is lovely control again. Yeah, Boateng's the one behind him in a bit of a mess, and he's just very composed, Lewandowski. I think he was actually trying to pick out the forward run of Sebastian Kehl and just overhit it.
Kehl on as a half-time substitute for Bender in the midfield. See him there in the centre circle, number 5. 4 from Alaba, away by Hummels. Gundogan. Grosskreutz. Blaszczykowski. Kehl. And Gundogan caught. Not seen too much of Thomas Muller in the game so far, and this is a potentially dangerous contribution he's made.
Yeah, I think some players take longer than others to get going in pre-season, and I think that's certainly the case for Thomas Muller tonight. He's been a little sloppy on it. He's not controlled it well a couple of times when it's been played into him up front. But he'll always work for you, Thomas Muller. He will always put 100% into what he does, but things aren't quite running for him at the moment.
Royce and Sahin, the 2 Dortmund players standing over this. 3-man wall did its job easily. Subotic. Schmelzer. Boateng took responsibility when he may have left that for his goalkeeper, perhaps. Van Boyten with the ball forward. And an excellent ball as well. Shaqiri's pace will get him there in time. 3 options for him in the middle. And Subotic, the only player he could pick out.
I'm not sure, you know, I've seen it a few times now where Alaba's throw-ins are actually legal. I think they're bordering on foul throws.
Thomas Muller was the player that went down close to a challenge from Subotic, just about inside the penalty area.
I think he's going down easily. I mean, Subotic looks at him disgustedly. He's trying to just put his foot round him, and he's not making any contact in that fashion. Listen, he's not the only one these days. A lot of players do, but Thomas Muller has a habit of going to ground softly in moments like that.
That is a foul.
That's getting a little irritated with Lewandowski. That's a clear warning from the referee. No more. It's a very good turn, and he's just mistimed it, Boateng.
Back from Royce. Schmelzer. First piece of handling required in the second half from Starker, and it went better for him than the first piece of handling he had to undertake in the first half.
Yeah, helps when Van Boyten doesn't run across his path and duck at the last minute. I think it's a feeble excuse. I still think he should have been getting there, holding on to it. That's gone down well in this stadium.
Well, I think it's fair to say that if the shove had gone the other way, Grosskreutz on Robben would also have gone down, claiming a foul.
Grosskreutz actually reacted far better by attempting to stay on his feet. But it was in the back, it wasn't quite shoulder to shoulder. I think the referee had a point.
It's been well documented that everything that Dortmund have achieved under Klopp in the last few years has been done on a relatively small budget, certainly in terms of transfer outlay. They've spent a net 10 million euros this summer. That means that their net outlay in the last 4 years is only 12 million euros. Bayern, on the other hand, have had a net spend of 137 million over the same time. Mandzukic offside here.
Yeah, he just delayed it a second. He wanted it to come down a bit quicker, Thomas Müller.
Mandzukic now seemingly playing exclusively through the middle rather than being asked to fill in on the left-hand side to allow Shaqiri possession in that kind of area. Here's Kroos. Robben, who's out on the left-hand side, had made a run. Kroos not really testing Robben Weidenfeller from there.
No, not with the left foot. I think he just thought, well, look, it's opened up, but it's nowhere near the corner, and the keeper could get right behind it. It was a pity, really, what happened to Toni Kroos last season, Jim, in that, you know, he going very well in the first half of the season, then got a bad injury in it. It basically wiped out the latter half of the season for him. He's like a new signing in himself.
Ball in from Lahm, 1-1. It had to be Arjen Robben, the man who won the Champions League final for Bayern against Dortmund 9 weeks ago, with the equalising goal in the Super Cup final. It's one apiece, and it's a deserved equaliser as well.
Well, the skipper, Philipp Lahm, I mean, not surprisingly, Jurgen Klopp is furious. Guardiola is certainly more relieved now that they're back on level terms, and I think they deserve it, Bayern. I think they've been doing more going forward in this game, and it's really, really poor defensively. Grosskreutz just watches Robben, lets him drift off him. Subotic doesn't know he's behind him. There's no shout, and it's an easy header back where it came from, across the goalkeeper, and once it hits the greasy turf, then you can forget it. And I think they deserve to be back on level terms. What a ball in, though, from Philipp Lahm. Exquisite delivery.
Slightly more measured celebration than that we saw the last time that he scored against Dortmund. Here's Gundogan. Oh, it's 2-1, an own goal! Within seconds of the restart, Daniel van Buiten puts through his own net, and Jurgen Klopp's men lead again.
Well, unbelievable. I mean, they say you're at your most vulnerable when you've just scored. This is kind of cruel in many ways, because the ball is aimed for Lewandowski. Van Buiten thinks, well, I'll just get there and cut this out. And in doing so, it's just a perfect header, isn't it, near post past Tom Starke. And having got back into it now, in charge again, Dortmund, and luckily so. That's a really unfortunate one to go against Bayern Munich. What can you do?
It's one of the old truisms of football that when there's a quick exchange of goals like that, it's the side that score the second goal that have a massive psychological advantage. And here they come, marauding forward again with Gundogan. It's opened up for him, and he's three! And 2.5 minutes after being pegged back to 1-1, Dortmund find themselves with a 2-goal advantage. Big, big problems for Guardiola in his first competitive match in charge, as Ilkay Gundogan makes it 3-1.
Well, I mean, it's given the whole stadium a spark, and if anything, I think Dortmund had gone into plod mode till Van Buiten had just managed to ease them 2-1 ahead with that OG. But this is class. I mean, this is reminiscent of Mario Götze. He'd be proud of something like this. Lovely little step inside using the left foot. Then he opened up his body and little curler with the right. That's a fantastic strike from Gundogan. Thomas Müller maybe didn't commit as well as he could have. Misread it, and once he stepped back inside, I mean, what a treat that is.
Ilkay Gundogan making it 3-1 to Borussia Dortmund. He also, of course, scored in the Champions League final. What kind of response will there be here from Bayern? I think over the next half an hour, Guardiola might learn a lot about his team. That's no bad thing, of course, as far as he's concerned. The new coach wants to see what his charges are like under pressure, the good and the bad about them in a game that ostensibly doesn't matter, but the problem is this one does matter. It matters to all of the players involved and all the supporters, and as we've been saying, football at large in Germany will take so much from this result if Bayern are to be beaten.
Extraordinary as well in the way games can change. It really is, Jim, because it looked a matter of course before Bayern were maybe going to just take this on, ease ahead. And then Van Buiten changed all that, and then in another flash, Gundogan just put Dortmund into a fine position with this. It's cleverly worked, not brilliantly defended, but that is just pinpoint. That's wonderful.
Well, from Robben's goal to Van Buiten putting through his own net was only 1 minute and 11 seconds, and a minute and 13 seconds after that, they scored again. It's a massive shot in the arm for Dortmund. Royce with a nutmeg on Van Buiten. He needed Boateng to come across and bail him out.
Yeah. And it seems, very deliberate as well. Big man can't move his feet as quickly.
Hummels coming up from the defensive line to play on the left wing, although he's lost his battle to keep that in.
Bit flustered now, Bayern.
Remember, this is a side that lost only 3 games in all competitions last season. Just the one away defeat, which came against Bate Borisov. Arsenal and Bayer Leverkusen, the only other teams to have beaten Bayern Munich last season. Are they destined to get off to a losing start in this one? Half an hour to go. They've certainly given themselves work to do, despite that overwhelming advantage in terms of possession.
That's what makes it, so crazy, this game, because it just did look like Bayern had a control of proceedings and were going to be able to take it on once they equalised. And to suffer the own goal and then the go and then strike in such quick succession, I mean, it's mad. They've got to be careful now, Bayern, that they don't allow Dortmund to sneak a forward. But I suppose Dortmund have done things in bursts tonight, and it's the classic case, isn't it? Here's another burst.
With Blaszczykowski dispossessing Robben. Sahin. Gundogan might yet get there. Thomas Muller trying to make sure that he didn't. There's a vital interception on the initial cross. Hummels.
But I think for all their possession tonight, I was saying to you earlier, Jim, as well, I think when you look at the, I mean, Mandzukic has worked hard, not really had much joy. Robben, yeah, he scored his goal, but again, you know, not had too much success, creative success anyway. And Shaqiri, I think, is disappointed. You know, bright start, but I think he's faded out of it. So Thomas Muller has had an indifferent evening. So, you know, are his attacking players, Guardiola's attacking players, giving him enough time? I don't think they are. You know, for all their good work, Bayern, I don't think they've been in the kind of form to convert it up front.
Good work by Kale. Sahin. It is inevitable that much will be made of this result if it stays this way, and certain aspects of the performance. Too much, perhaps, might be made of it when you consider they still have Ribery and Goetze and Neuer and Schweinsteiger all to come back into this side, and Javi Martinez not featuring today either. It's not as if everything has suddenly gone off the boil, but nevertheless, Dortmund and 16 other teams will be heartened by what is happening here tonight at the moment.
Indeed, and I'll be one who won't be writing Bayern off, believe me, not with those names you mentioned to come into things. But it's food for thought, and it could create a little bit of negativity in the German media about his tweaking of things and the selection, and which again, I'm sure every other team will be delighted about.
3 targets for Lahm. Robben on the turn. There's one of the goals back. 3-1 becomes 3-2, and is a famous comeback now on the cards.
Well, they don't know how to give up. That's one thing you can say about Bayern. They certainly will keep going. And again, I think there's some poor defending I think we're seeing in this. And again, it's Philipp Lahm, you know, always a threat down the right-hand side, and it's his ball that finds Robben. But what he has to do after that is an awful lot still. And the turn, I think, is just brilliant. To control it on his right, swivel, and then hit it with his left. Keeper going the wrong way too. I think it's superb. But, you know, a lot of credit goes to Philipp Lahm too, because he's been quiet, but he's been so effective down that right-hand side, and he's delivered again.
Arjen Robben's 70th goal for Bayern Munich at a rate of better than 1 every other game. The man who scored the winner in the Champions League final, the winner in the Pokal against them in the quarter-finals last season against Dortmund. He's now got 2 in the Super Cup. 25 minutes to go. We're in for a thrilling final quarter of the game, seemingly, after an extraordinary glut of goals, 4 of them in the space of 10 minutes. Hummels. And pressure on Starker again. Lewandowski herring after him whenever he's got the ball. Former Offenheim man able to deal with it this time. Robben with space to take it out to the right-hand side. Now Shaqiri. Well, Mandzukic has been quite quiet tonight, but that would have been a dramatic way to mark his arrival.
Absolutely. I mean, if he'd made it 3-3 there, and the way he went about it, it would have been spectacular. Good improvisation. He knows the ball's a little behind. Shins it, actually. So he didn't get the greatest contact on it, and obviously it's well wide. And Shaqiri makes way.
Bastian Schweinsteiger, not fully fit. Fit enough to try and stamp his authority on the game with just over 20 minutes to go. A change that will necessitate a little bit of tinkering with the formation.
Muller's gone to the right-hand side. I mean, Robben seems to have been operating more on the left, Shaqiri right anyway. So that way they can just keep a good balance to what they're doing.
Kale. Foul by Robben. Błaszkowski, the player that was brought down.
Minimal, if anything. Yeah, well, he probably hasn't contacted him. I mean, the common denominator in all of this, Jim, is that usually the ball is gone and the player knows he's lost possession. Doesn't want to be blamed for it, and they go to ground. And I think that was a very kind decision.
What can Nuri Sahin produce from here? Not able to test Tom Starker.
Yeah, not the worst. You can see what he was doing, almost that kind of Ronaldo type free kick, the way he strikes the ball. He just didn't get the dip.
Remember, Bayern only conceded 18 league goals last season, all season. This makes the scoreline at the top of your screen even more surprising in many ways, as Robben again is involved with Błaszczykowski. That's an individual battle between those two that's going to take some watching for the referee.
Well, the arm was up on that occasion, so I think the Dutchman was always going to go down. Błaszczykowski, just watch the left arm come out. There you go. Again, he kind of exaggerates it, but he is impeded.
Five targets for Robben inside that penalty area. Kroos lurking just on the edge of the box as well. Subotic with a header which buys his side some time. And at the same juncture as the first half, Andres brings a brief halt to proceedings so that the players can take some much-needed fluid on board. But what a second half we've had so far.
That's tremendous, the spate of goals we've had in such a short spell of play. But I thought, you know, at the start of the match, because the start was quite lively and we got the goal and, you know, we had a few chances at either end, and I'm thinking, you know, we're in for a treat here. And then the first half seemed to kind of just settle down a little bit, and Bayern seemed to have a control of it, but there were no great shakes, I wouldn't say. The game, fascinating kind of duel between them, but it wasn't, as a spectacle, probably the best we've seen between them. But the second half, I think, needed a bit more life, and we've certainly got it with the equaliser, and then obviously the two Dortmund goals back. And now Pep Guardiola feels that, obviously, clearly, the way he's trying to motivate his players, that they can come again. You know, with that Robben second, that they can come again and they can still manage to overturn this deficit.
So the stage is set for another one of the Dortmund new boys to be able to make an impression. Now, Aubameyang, 21 times a goal scorer for Saint Etienne last season. The Gabonese international will come on for his debut.
Very tactile, isn't he, Jurgen Klopp? He loves a hug with his players and high fives and all that kind of stuff. And Aubameyang feels the love in, as he's about to come on here.
He hasn't made too many mistakes in the transfer market. Aubameyang coming on to replace Błaszczykowski, hoping to underline Jurgen Klopp's reputation as being a man who can spot a talent. In fairness, Aubameyang was much more on the radar of coaches than someone like Grosskreutz, who he picked up from second division football a couple of seasons ago. But is Aubameyang the real deal at this level? The next 20 minutes might give us an indication. Most of us think he is.
Well, Gabon were co-hosts of the Africa Cup of Nations last year, and I watched them play on a couple of occasions, and he looked impressive enough to me, and he certainly got a good turn of pace, and he seemed to operate on the right-hand side for his country in the main, Aubameyang. But as to whether he's going to start delivering quickly at this level, we'll have to wait and see, because you know he really has stepped it up now. This is about as big as it gets. He looks to be kind of hugging that right touchline again. It seems to be his preferred position.
Player's been pulled back by the referee here. Foul committed by Lewandowski. No discernible advantage after the pullback on Thiago Alcantara, who we've seen very little of in this second half.
So I'm surprised he's so deep. It seemed to be kind of an attempt by him early in the second half to get forward a little bit more, so I don't know whether something was said at half-time, but it's not materialised. Here he is again in the anchor roll.
Nicely done by Kroos. Here's Robben. Alaba. Muller. Just too high for Kroos. And now an opportunity for Aubameyang, who does have blistering pace. More content that time just to make sure that he retained possession. Kale for Sahin.
It was a clever header as well by Muller. Knew that he couldn't go for goal himself when the cross came over, and just tried to keep it alive and getting it, you know, back across the box.
Mandzukic and Schmelzer, the players involved here. Guardiola was very quick to react. The free kick has been given Bayern's way. And Schmelzer's going to be spoken to. Haven't had a caution yet in the game, but the way that Jochen Drees was pointing at 2 or 3 individual areas of the pitch suggested that maybe Schmelzer might be coming close. I see why Guardiola was irate about that.
Yeah, they were both at it. I think that's what Klopp's trying to say to him, but Schmelzer was committing the first crime.
So Mandzukic leaves the field and Claudio Pizarro comes on to replace him. He scored 13 goals last season in only 1,100 minutes on the field. Offside straight away.
Yeah, that's his first involvement. Ooh, is he in line? Yeah, looks it. Looks as if he's in line with Grosskreutz. Just looking at Schweinsteiger as well since he came on, you know, there's plenty of movement, but as yet he really can't get a serious involvement in things.
Thiago. That was nicely done. Alaba. That's a corner. Only the 4th of the game, 3 of them to Bayern. Taken short by Robben. Back to him from Schweinsteiger. Alaba. No, that's a waste with 6 Bayern players in the penalty area waiting for the delivery.
That's twice. I mean, before the corner, he had a chance to maybe bend something in as well, and he didn't get it there. And the second one was very much overhit. Is Thiago taking one for the team?
So that's the legendary man management style.
That's it, a little slap during the drinks break.
Guardiola, the secret of my success uncovered.
that's probably what you could determine as rust with Schweinsteiger. It's not often you see him kind of eased off it like that once it was played into him.
Here he is again. Again, just a little bit tardy in dispensing with the ball in the midfield, and Hummels has continued his run forward. Muller for Alaba. Now Pizarro scored 11 goals in his last 9 starts. Sahin. Weidenfeller happy to get it out of harm's way. Probably got about 15 minutes of action left when you include the drinks break and the substitutions that have been made in this second half. We talked about the psychological aspect of what might happen today. Of course, if Bayern can come back from 3-1 down and end up lifting the trophy, that will also have a huge impact, not just for them, but a negative impact for Dortmund as well.
Yeah, of course it would. I mean, I'm sure it's been kind of reinforced in the dressing room that you start all over again. You can't dwell on your achievements from a season gone by, no matter how well you played, and Bayern were brilliant. You've got to start again with humility. You can't get arrogant about your position, and just put as much into it as you can, yeah. And if Bayern could turn this round now, Jim, and manage to nick it 4-3, it would be a massive fill-up for them and a crusher for Dortmund for things to come.
Thiago. And Muller! Inches away. So close. He's claiming a deflection, helped it onto the bar. Thomas Muller very nearly making it 3-3.
Oh, this would have been the goal of the night. I mean, this would have been special. It really would. I mean, there might have been the barest touch from the keeper. Very difficult for the officials to spot. A lovely little dink by Thiago. And may not have been as clean a strike, but oh, it's so unlucky to see that clip the top of the crossbar and go high. They deserve to be level, don't they? With what they've put into the night, the possession, etc. For me, even if maybe some of their attacking players haven't been at their sharpest, I think they certainly deserve to get back on level terms at least. And unsurprisingly, Jim, you know, Mandzukic and Shaqiri, who didn't really have great nights, have departed.
Here's Robben, who's on a hat-trick. Schweinsteiger. Lahm back for Schweinsteiger.
We'll give him the benefit at this stage because he is just getting his pre-season going, Bastian Schweinsteiger. He is so much better than that.
These two sides next meet here on the weekend of November the 23rd. The away game for Dortmund at the Allianz Arena is week 30. So 4 games left after that. I mean, conceivably that could be a title decider. I mean, it's very difficult to look that far into the future, of course, but you think that could be a monumental fixture, bearing in mind when it is in the season.
I hope it is. I hope it works out that way. I still think that maybe Dortmund have got a big gap to close. I mean, if Bayern can hit the kind of form they did from the start last season, 25 points, you said, was the gap between them at the end. That's an awful lot.
Robben. Schweinsteiger's throw. Thiago. Lahm. Move breaks down with a misplaced pass from Muller. And this is where there is danger. Lewandowski forward. Aubameyang's pace. Well, he might have tried to take it round Starker with the goalkeeper having committed himself that early.
Totally agree with you. It's exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, it's always easy from where we're sitting, but I think that's exactly what he should have done, because he's so far off his line, Tom Starkey. He's asked, really, for Aubameyang. Well, go on, then, can you get round me? And I think he should have taken that option.
Gundogan! And the follow-up for Royce, blocked by Alaba. Might not have known much about it. Slid in and played the percentage game, but denied Royce a goal that would have won the cup for Dortmund.
Yeah, it's a lovely little pullback by Sahin, really is, and it's a cracking stop by Tom Stark. And that's all he did, Alaba. He got himself in position and got lucky.
Dortmund's first corner of the second half. Two chances to surely seal the victory, squandered in quick succession. Sahin to take this corner. Is that handball? Royce rifles it back towards goal. Might have been ball to hand, but no real appeals from the Dortmund players.
No, I think the fact that it fell kindly for Marco Reus and he hit it, I think referee, even if he did see that it brushed off Toni Kroos's arm, I think he was right to play the advantage.
Alaba. Subotic stepping up from the defensive line, taking the ball away from Robben. Schmelzer. Royce fouled by Van Boyten.
And you know, if Dortmund can hang on to this or certainly add to their lead and get the victory in this Super Cup, then you mentioned the fixtures before. They have a good run of fixtures, you know, to open their campaign, and they can actually, you would think, run up a very good tally of points.
So Kroos off and Dante on with 5 minutes to go. Central midfielder replaced by a centre-half at this stage of the game is not necessarily what you'd expect. It'll be interesting to see how they change things around. Royce going for goal with the free kick.
I think it's just Guardiola worried that it might just get away from him if you know, Dortmund had 2 chances there, almost added a 4th. Is he just trying to kind of help Bayern to stay in there by just giving him a little more reinforcement at the back? In fact, look where he's put Dante. That's incredible. Centre forward.
Lewandowski forward. Aubameyang. Royce for 4. The Super Cup is Dortmund's. Delight for Jurgen Klopp. He has a new adversary this season, but he's got one over him before the end of July. 4-2 to Dortmund, and surely the Super Cup is theirs.
Well, maybe that's Guardiola's mistake in the fact that he made the substitution. He stuck Dante up front. Maybe he should have been slipping him in at the back. But they've done this well all night in breaking quickly. And once Lewandowski fed it to Aubameyang, I think there is a suspicion of offside by Marco Reus. I think he probably is just slightly ahead of the pass when it comes in. But the assistant hasn't flagged, and Dortmund have got their 4th goal. And it looks now as if all Bayern's efforts are going to be fruitless.
2 for Marco Reus, 4 for Borussia Dortmund. 3 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Dante on as an auxiliary striker, but had he been playing at centre-half there, might have been a different story. Here he is in this role instead. Pizarro with the shot which is saved.
Well, I think 1 or 2 in the media tomorrow will be questioning what was Pep Guardiola doing. I mean, you can understand it, putting him there, just looking for a bit more presence in the box, trying to get some pressure at the end of the game to go 3-3. But that's what can happen in the game, and coaches have to pay the price.
And a debut for Socrates Papasafopoulos. He signed for just less than 10 million euros from Werder Bremen over the summer. And he will make his Borussia Dortmund bow. Replacing Gundogan with just over 2 minutes remaining. Here's Robben. Muller. Prodigious leap to get there ahead of Schmelzer. Throw from Lahm. Schweinsteiger. Robben trying to tease it in towards one of 4 aerial targets.
That's a lovely delivery too from Arjen Robben. I just don't know whether Thomas Muller was expecting it to arrive on his head. I think he had a good chance to get something on that.
Well, last season, the two sides met 5 times. Dortmund didn't win any of them. Prior to that, they'd become the first side in German history to beat Bayern in 5 successive encounters. It just goes to show how quickly fortunes can change. I'm not for one moment suggesting that this impending defeat here means that Bayern's star has fallen. Far from it. Plenty of players able to come back and strengthen this side, and still time in the transfer window for more to be added as well. But perhaps the portents are there that there won't be 25 points between these two this year. Here's Thiago Alcantara.
I hope it's much more competitive, yeah.
Dante can't reach. Weidenfeller can.
What a good choice as well to clear with his foot.
Back in from Lahm. And an opportunity now for the pace of Aubameyang. Lewandowski.
This is a side now who know they've got it won. But I think, importantly, Jim, I think, you know, akin to what you were saying before, Bayern are still the side to beat this season. But psychologically, I think this is very important, not just for Dortmund, I think probably for a lot of other teams in the league too.
Foul on Lewandowski. A challenge born of frustration from the showboating that was going on, and it earns Boateng the first yellow card of the night in stoppage time.
Yeah, I think Lewandowski makes the most of it. You know, it's not the worst foul. He's tried to poke the ball between his legs, but just another thing that probably annoys Guardiola about the evening. Well, that's how he began the night, Tom Starker, and he nearly ended it that way too.
Kale. Wide from Subotic. Royce.
Showboating now.
Lewandowski with the ball through, but Royce is offside.
Looked correct. As if he'd just gone too early and just lost his bearings on where that defensive line was placed.
Well, when you're on the back of a domestic and European treble and 4 honours in one season, the only way is down. But nevertheless, Pep Guardiola will be disappointed, particularly in the scoreline as well as the defeat. The fact that his side, with the best defence in German history last year, had conceded 4 in this opener. The first of many handshakes between Guardiola and Klopp. The first of many battles between the two. And it's Jurgen Klopp and Borussia Dortmund that have won it. They've won the Super Cup. We're back with the trophy lift next on ESPN.